Okay, so tell me a little bit about Aspire OT. How did it get started? Who wants to start?
So I can start. Who Aspire OT, like who we are as a company, really is kind of wrapped up in our story, which Kim and I think is kind of a beautiful thing. So I'm an occupational therapy assistant. Kim is an occupational therapist, and we actually work together in clinical practice. And basically, and we'll hold off maybe on that full story, but out of some needs that we saw, we really felt that like occupational therapy really needed its own specific professional development, specifically related to continuing education courses. And we felt like through those services and providing those really great courses that are focused on occupational therapy, that then the OT practitioners, the OTs and OTAs that take these courses can go back to their jobs and provide even better um, best practice and client-centered approaches to the clients that they serve. And so we're really trying to empower individual folks who, OTs and OTAs, who are really out there to help others go live their life to the fullest how they want to.
And I'll add just a little bit to that. Even though occupational therapy has been around for over 100 years, really as a profession, we're still pretty under recognized. And so one of the things that Nicole and I found is that as we were doing continuing education, we were providing resources to help other OT practitioners maybe promote and better explain occupational therapy. And we really got a lot of feedback that after attending our sessions, other OTs, OTAs, and even students were telling us we feel more confident in explaining what OT is, and we're actually pretty excited about our profession now, too. So
Mm-hmm.
that's really another reason that we created Aspire OT.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So, like, what kinds of services do you provide?
So, like we said, like Nicole did so well explained, all of our services are offered exclusively for OT practitioners. So, that would be occupational therapists, occupational therapy assistants, and students who are pursuing degrees for occupational therapy or occupational therapy assistant. So, we offer continuing education, but we also offer one on one coaching for OT practitioners, really on a variety of subjects, whatever they feel like they need help with or coaching for their practice. We offer consulting, and we're really excited because now we offer co-sponsorship. We are an approved sponsor for the AOTA approved provider program. And Nicole and I also guest lecture and we speak at colleges and universities who have occupational therapy or occupational therapy assistant programs.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So, like, any particular stakeholders that you partner with closely?
So one of the things that we're the most proud of is Aspire OT launched as a company in November 2019. And, our vision was much like we've talked about continuing education. But what we found is that, every state in the United States has a state occupational therapy association. And we heard that in our own home state, Kim and I both live in Tennessee, that the Tennessee Occupational Therapy Association was trying to find a way to offer it the courses to kind of promote occupational therapy and help occupational therapy practitioners in Tennessee. They were trying to, broaden that audience. If it was being provided in one city, can we get that information then to any practitioner in Tennessee that would like to attend? And so we actually created a custom solution where we partner with the Tennessee Occupational Therapy Association to help them meet their mission by offering a platform for their own continuing education. So currently, we launched that partnership in February of 2020. And now currently, we actually have 5 states that we partner with. So we see that it really aligns with that mission that we had from the very beginning to really empower OT practitioners, because we see that as a way then to help them go into the community and really help others, because that's why we all got into this job. So really looking at partnering with those state associations to then further that mission.
Mm-hmm. My next question is, what impact does your organization have on communities as a whole, particularly the disability community?
Absolutely. And I feel like we've touched on this just a little bit. Thinking about, one of our biggest focuses at Aspire OT is advocacy. And so thinking about change is really important at a systems level. And the disability community is really, aware of that and trying to change systems to make systems more friendly for those who have needs, and also even at an individual level. So we're really trying to create change in the occupational therapy community, so then the individual practitioners can work to then advocate at a systems level, a populations, group level, and individual level to then try to create change for those individuals that they serve. And a lot of times that can be those who are in the disability community.
Mm-hmm.
One of the examples that I thought of is we talk about stigma some in our courses, and helping OT practitioners recognize stigma. Sometimes it's stigma related to mental health, stigma related to chronic pain. And for those who have pain every day, that they have those challenges and face stigma from the community around them, from their healthcare providers, and even from themselves. So educating OT practitioners to understand that stigma, or at least be able to acknowledge and see that stigma to that individual, and then help that individual navigate and address that stigma in their own life. But then I know we also encourage OT practitioners then to address the stigma that they see in healthcare too. And that can be a way then to start to create that change to benefit those who are seeking services.
Mm-hmm. My last question is, how do you create an inclusive and welcoming environment for everyone, particularly people with disabilities? And Kimberly, feel free to jump in.
Absolutely. So at Aspire OT, I think we've been able to kind of convey the continuing education is the largest portion of services that we provide. So we really work to ensure that our learning systems accommodate all different learning needs. And we do that in the beginning when we create our courses and creating our platform, how you navigate through our website. But we also have strategies in place that learners can really let us know what their individual needs might be. And then we work to really meet those individual needs on a case-by-case basis. Many of our CEs, the continuing education that we provide, are geared toward helping OTs, OTAs, and students grow their knowledge and skills, like Nicole said, in addressing the specific occupational needs for diverse populations. So one example would be we offer a course that's actually created by one of our state association partners, the Tennessee Occupational Therapy Association, and it's called Hair as an ADL. And so that course really works to help OT practitioners better understand how hair care should be differently viewed based upon hair type, texture, and ethnicity. The course also addresses how to provide hair care for those with sensory concerns or special sensory needs. We also work to raise awareness to the occupational needs of diverse populations, including those with disabilities, through our blogs and our social media. And those actually reach audiences well beyond those who take our courses. So for example, yesterday we provided social media posts to really promote post-traumatic stress disorder awareness and provide resources. And then we recently published a blog that was written by an occupational therapy student who was raising awareness to the occupational therapy needs regarding refugee resettlement. So we utilize and really try to create an inclusive and welcoming environment, not just through our courses, but through everything we do.
Mm-hmm. Nicole, anything you would like to add?
No, I think we're really grateful for the opportunity to talk about occupational therapy. Kim and I are really excited about what we do, in occupational therapy as a profession, to really then be a vehicle to support individuals for the change that they want to see, and really have that client-focused, holistic view to help folks get where they want to go.
Mm-hmm. Cool.